Ladies and gentlemen, here I am at Luistro Combat Academy in a pretty talented sandwich here. I've got Quillan Salkilld right here. Hello.
G'day, Mitchell.
And Cody Haddon to my left.
What's up, mate?
You're both UFC fighters. Quill, first of all, how does it feel to not just make it, but make it alongside your longtime friend and training partner?
Man, dream come true. The only thing that would have been better if we were on the same exact card and got it at the exact same time, that would have been even better story. But you know, it's good enough having 2 weeks apart, man.
Was it hard, Cody, like in terms of, obviously you celebrate immediately, you're stoked, right? But then you've got to kind of almost be like, oh, I opened my Christmas present up early. I've got to wait for my friend to open up his and see if it's coal or something good. How did that feel?
I feel like when I watch Quillan, it's never a doubt. So I don't have to even watch any of his opponents or anything. I'm so confident every single time he fights that it's like a no-brainer. It's like I can celebrate, and I'm already celebrating for him because I know that he's going to get him regardless of who he faces. When you train with someone all the time and you know that their skill, where it is at, it's a no-brainer. I knew he was going to get in regardless of who they put in front of him. To be honest, I didn't even watch much of the other guy. I just knew that he's going to smash him anyway. So, it was fine. I was excited, so, yeah.
Well, I mean, cool. Do you feel that, you got the jump on Cody, you got signed for, or announced that you were going to be on Contender Series first, but then he beat you. How does it feel?
Yeah, I'm pissed off, mate. I was meant to win.
You guys do actually weirdly, I know that you love each other, but don't lie. There's a bit of competitiveness, isn't there?
Mate, we're racing to the belt. First one to get UFC belt wins, all right? So, yeah, it's going to be a, long, tough road, and whoever last one there's a rotten egg, mate. Well,
I mean, you must look at it like the bantamweight belt, obviously every division very tough, but the lightweight division very scary. Do you think you can get the bantamweight belt a little bit quicker?
I have no idea, hey. I don't even know. To be honest, I'm not even thinking about that right now. Or maybe I'm just pretending like I'm not racing, but I'm racing, it's like if you're running a race and you're losing, you're like, oh, I wasn't even racing. I wasn't racing anyway. But if you're winning, you're like, I beat you. That's where I'm at with it right now. So for now, it's like, yeah, I'm not even racing, whatever.
Was it frustrating? I mean, actually, no, I'll ask you, Quill. Did you feel almost in a weird way, guilty that this kid's been the future since he was an embryo, trying to get into the UFC? He's the future of mixed martial arts, and you were just got signed first, got the belt first, all that sort of stuff?
Nah, I just consider myself a bit more luckier because last year I got the opportunity for Road to UFC, which was short notice, just spur of the moment type of thing, and then that got my name in there. So just with that opportunity, I was just a bit more luckier that it happened just a little bit sooner.
Did Cody, were you a little bit jealous when he got Road to UFC first, and then were you happy when his fight fell out?
That because I beat him in the end. Is that why? But looking back now, it's I can always say I did it before you. So it's once you've been there as long as me, mate, Nah, not really. It's just like he said, it's opportunities, right? It's more I'm not frustrated. If I ever was frustrated, it was never frustrated towards Quillan. It's more are they sleeping on me? Maybe the UFC doesn't think, you know what I mean? And then when I got a call up, I was like, finally, I can be where I belong. You know what I mean? It's not frustrated at anyone in particular. It's just frustrated at, give me a fucking opportunity, cunt. I'll show you what I can do. You know what I mean? And then I was able to go out there and do it in spectacular fashion. So, I don't know. It's weird, though. It seems the bantamweight division, I don't think there's ever, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's ever been an Australia-New Zealand fighter in the UFC in the bantamweight division. But if you look at the lightweight division, there's 8 or 9, or not 8 or 9, but in the past there might have been,
Was Ashkan Mokhtar, was he flyweight?
I think he was a flyweight, but I mean he could have taken a fight at bantamweight. I know he was a very big flyweight. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he fought at flyweight there. But it's weird, some divisions there's insane amount of Aussies and Kiwis, and then like other divisions just like non-existent. So I was kind of like, do they not want an Aussie in the bantamweight division? For me, it just made sense. I was like, if you look at even, like, I know that these don't matter, but, Tapology, rankings, this and that. On the regional scene, obviously ranked first, you had Rod Costa, but he's a Brazilian. He's not an Australian. Yes, he lives in Australia now and all of that, but he was ranked 1. But it's like, and no disrespect to anyone, but if they want the best Brazilian, they're probably going to go to Brazil, And if they want the best Australian, they're going to go to Australia. So therefore, I was kind of an Aussie born and bred, fighter. And I was just kind of like, why are they not giving me a shot, So I don't know. It's just opportunities. I'm just grateful that eventually I got a shot. And now we're here and everything happens for a reason, right?
Now, Quillan, after the victory, of course, you're stoked, you're happy, kind of. Is it mission accomplished to a degree, or are you kind of still not happy?
Oh, not satisfied just yet, mate.
But surely you're like, you guys, but for both of you, like you struggle, for so long to get there type thing. Some more than others, some do it a little bit quicker. But like you finally get there. Surely there's a bit of you where you guys go, oh, we get to like almost close that chapter, have a little bit of a celebration, and then reopen another one.
Of course, I consider this a halfway point, Ever since I started, the goal has been to get UFC belt. So now that we're in the door in the UFC, past the regional scene, at the halfway point. So now it's just climbing the ranks and getting towards that strap.
Now, you guys have an identical record, I believe, 1 loss. Now, Cody's 1 loss fought for the UFC flyweight belt. Your 1 loss never fought again.
He made it and then left. So now he's going to have that forever on me. Oh.
Do you want that back?
I'll come back just to get that back. I'll come back. I'll put UFC on hold.
Get him to come down the gym to roll and then just be like, I got ya. Yeah, we just cleaned it.
Oh, shout out to Pablo Torrealba. Probably lives in your head still.
Yeah, still does. Still pissed off.
Now, speaking of happy times, mate, you guys have obviously built a pretty special, friendship. You go to war, you might be weight classes different type thing, but every bit of training seems like it's with each other, it's for each other, you're in each other's corner. Talk about emotionally, Cody, what it was like to see your teammate reach his dream.
Yeah, it's just, like I said before, there's never a doubt, because when you train with someone all the time, you know their skill level, you know what I mean, and you know how good they are. And I never worry when Quillan's fighting someone else, I never worry like with anything oh, this guy's got good hands. Well, he's got good hands. Or this guy's a really good wrestler. This guy can wrestle too. It's like, oh, but he's jiu-jitsu. This guy's got great. There is no area that I have to be worried about. When someone's an all-rounder, and I've experienced that firsthand because I'm training with them all the time. So I don't get worried, man. It was more like, it was just like, watching it, I was more like, oh yeah, just waiting for him to get his hand raised because I know that he was going to dominate. So I was actually quite calm watching him. I get a little bit nervous, obviously, because, anything can happen in the fight, but I knew that he's a better fighter. So, for me, it was like, I'd get nervous, but it's more excited for him. I was more excited to see him get his hand raised and all of that rather than nervous for him,
And cool, similar thing with Cody. I mean, he's also had issues with injuries and stuff, and you've probably seen him push through some things at times and see things that people aren't even privy to about Cody getting to fights. And obviously, he's been training. I made a joke about it, but seriously, he's been training since he was 4? 6? Literally 6 years old, and to see him reach his dream 2 decades later, what does it feel like?
Man, just happy as it's pretty much the same answer. When I watch him fight, is no doubt obviously I spar with him. I'm 2 weight classes bigger, and he a lot of sessions he fucks me up. So I'm thinking, what's another bantamweight gonna really do to him? So watch him achieve his dream, even though it was 2 weeks faster and he did win. Still happy as and super excited to see what's going to happen to us now. on the road forward.
Now, in terms of UFC lightweights, who are you excited about getting in the octagon with?
Oh man, one day I want to fight, Paddy. Give me a few fights and I'll be probably calling him out.
Paddy Pimblett?
Paddy Pimblett, yeah, one day.
Okay, how come?
Just cause, mate, just cause.
Do you like him?
Don't mind him, yeah. He's got some
Paddy's got some star power, and he could take it, and then you know what I mean. There'd be a bit of hype, and all those fans just convert over here.
Okay.
So,
I like that. And for you then, mate, bantamweight?
Oh fuck no, there's some scary bantamweights. Hey, so
Do you know anyone in the UFC?
Nah. Nah.
Peyton Talbot.
Oh yeah. Hey, maybe Peyton Talbot's a big name, and he's been cleaning people up, but it took him 3 rounds to beat the guy I beat in the first round. So I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something at the same time. So yeah, maybe.
Not saying anything, but I'm saying something at the same time. That's a great quote. Quill, now I know everyone I want to fight tomorrow, but realistically, when do you think we'll see you back in there making your UFC debut?
Oh, one more before the end of the year. So ideally, November or early December is when I aim to get back in the octagon and make my UFC debut. And
Cody, I know your manager's death staring me right now, but when it comes to your next fight, there's been reports online. Can you deny and or confirm?
I can't confirm or deny anything, but we have something in the works, and I'm not allowed to say anything. Otherwise, I might be fined some money, and I need to keep all the money I can get at the moment. So, yeah, I've trained for so long to get to this point to start making some money. I would hate to get fined and, lose money that I don't have. So I'm not going to say nothing, but if you stay tuned in a couple of days' time, I think that that question will be answered.
You literally sound like you had a gun to your head. Now, Quillan, in terms of, your parents have really helped support your dream. You're going to pay them back or what?
of course, they'll be in a mansion in no time.
Have you started?
Not yet. I can barely support myself, mate. So once I can support myself, they're going to be taken care of. I do plan on giving back and then some to them. I owe them everything.
And now, Cody, your dad famously basically got you out of school, allegedly faked an apprenticeship so you could just train. It weirdly paid off, mate. How does it feel to kind of, you've had such great support. Obviously, that was such a wild way to get into fighting type thing, but to have people believe in you that, to essentially risk your education in the future, and I would not recommend it. However, it bloody paid off. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's I had a bit of an unconventional upbringing as is, right? So, they're a little bit like, fuck the system anyway type vibe. So it was a no-brainer. It was like, fuck it, this kid's gonna make it. Shoot for the stars if you land on the moon type vibe. Who gives a fuck, So yeah, they were always just like, yeah, go for it, And I'm grateful that I had that support. I feel like in a conventional upbringing, a lot of families would be like, all right, you go to school, finish your school, and then try get a good job, or if you don't get a good job, go to uni and get some sort of degree, and then with that degree, get a good job. But, I mean, my family, no one's got a degree. Fucking, you could trace it back. Fucking, there's no degrees anywhere. So, I don't think there's degrees exist. So, yeah, fucking, just whatever. Hey, just a bunch of hustlers. So just whatever means necessary, just make it work, right? So yeah, that was always it. It was just like, go for it. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, believe it or not even the best fighter in your family.
Nah, nowhere near.
Now, cool. I mean, talk about Romel Luistro. It's a little bit different with Cody. Of course, he was like an emerging talent, had so many coaches, so many people helping him. Romel literally can walk around and tell people, I basically taught him everything he knows. He claims that he just got lucky with you. You walked in the door, your work ethic, your mindset was already there type thing. But can you put into words just what Romel Luistro has done for you?
He's been like a second father to me. He took me under his wing from day one. I remember going to one of the shows here that come to Perth. Can't remember which one, and hardly knew him, and he just brought me with him, took me under his wing, and he started talking about MMA, and we started to get to know each other. And I pretty much spent every day with him since. I owe him everything. He's taught me, everything that I know up until now.
And Cody, what was it that made you go, I'm going to leave where I was and go to this essentially no-name gym with a no-name coach, with a no-name manager, and kind of put your dreams in their hands?
Well, I just needed, the only aspect I was missing was like, the wrestling. And I was doing, back then I was doing a lot of things separately. I was doing like jiu-jitsu at a jiu-jitsu gym, and then boxing at a boxing gym, and then kickbox or whatever, you know what I mean? All separate. And I thought I was doing MMA. And then essentially I was just sparring. That's how I was putting it all together, just sparring, out of my jiu-jitsu gym. And I'm grateful for everyone who's helped me and stuff like that. But moving forward, MMA is a skill in itself. And when I started training with Romel, it made sense. Like a lot of the things, or when I seen him coach people and stuff, or like even the advice that he gave in MMA, it made a lot more sense. And looking at like all the other fighters, who've made it to the highest level, a lot of them do have an MMA coach, and that is their head coach. And they will go elsewhere to do work on their hands a bit, work on this and that. But like, I'd done boxing since a kid at a boxing gym. I'd done Muay Thai at a Muay Thai gym. I'd done jiu-jitsu at a jiu-jitsu gym, taekwondo, the list goes on. I'd done it all separately, and the only thing I was missing was like someone with experience who's fought MMA and been around that scene. And like certain things, like jiu-jitsu is great, but like you're not going to sit in a closed guard on your back in an MMA fight and think you're going to win, like staying there the whole time, so there's the urgency to, wrestle up and get on top, and that sort of stuff is what I needed, at that time. And I remember doing a couple of training sessions with Romel, and I seen how he was training his guys, and how important and how little I actually knew about wrestling. I knew fuck all. And MMA essentially is wrestling dictates where the fight goes, and wrestling's such a big part of it. And then I seen how he pushed his guys, and how everyone, and how serious he was about MMA, and that he lived and breathed it, and that I realized like, fuck, this is where I need to be to level up. And the things that he was showing me, I was then able to go and spar and put into practice right away, and it was working. I was like, fuck, this is what I've been missing. And then it was a no-brainer, it was like, that's where I need to be. Like this is the true like MMA gym, and my level since then has just gone up and up and up and up, and I still learn things even now off Romel, all the like phenomenal coach, man. That's why I seen how he was with Quillan, and how quickly he actually developed Quillan. I remember sparring Quillan when he first started, and no shit, I used to feel bad for hitting him. Like I used to be like, fuck, like I'd throw a jab and I'd be like, oh, I just like, the cross is there, I have to throw it because it's there, but like, fuck, I used to feel bad for hitting him, man. He was so hittable, and like, I was like, fuck. Then, no shit, like a year and a half later, doing more work with him, and he just improved insanely, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And that was the quickest I'd seen someone go from like trash to good. And I was like, well, everyone's trash when they start, right? So I was like, fucking hell. So that was proof in the pudding. I was like, man, this coach knows what he's doing. If he can do that, and then just a little thing.
If he can do it to me, oh man, you do anyone.
If he can teach Quillan Salkilld to be good, he can bloody teach anyone. Is that?
It's true, but man, ask Romel what he used to call Quillan.
What used to call?
Oh, you name it. I don't know. I don't even know.
You know the name.
What's the name? Just say it. You gotta say it now.
I'm not gonna say it.
You gotta say it.
You the wet noodle. He was the wet noodle for ages.
Why do you call the wet noodle?
Because he was just like tall, lanky, but had no sort of like pop to him, no explosiveness, and he was just a bit of a noodle, like like no structure about him, like he was easy to just take down at will, just not much like strength, It was Yeah, but now, fucking hell, is definitely
Hard noodle.
He's a hard noodle now. Fucking hell, yeah, he is. Solid noodle.
This is why I want to do this together, so you guys can actually answer each other. Now, it kind of throws off the next question, but would there be a Quillan Salkilld, and would he have made it to the UFC if it wasn't for Cody Haddon?
Oh, fuck no. As long as Romel's around, I think I would have been all right, man. Yeah, but being able to train day in, day out with Cody has definitely made me improve, tremendously.
And I mean, same question to you. Like, how much do you attribute Quillan to your success?
Oh, phenomenal training partner. Yeah, like especially he gives me trouble everywhere, whereas beforehand I used to train with people, it's like if they were good grapplers I could just box their head off, or if they were good strikers I'd just take them down and ragdoll them. But with him, it's like he's good everywhere. So yeah, it's been a really good push, being able to spar with him and stuff like that has really helped with my development and stuff like that. But then once again, is like Quillan said, Romel is just like, regardless of training partners, like I feel like with Romel, like we would both get there, even if we just solo did like training just with Romel, because of his knowledge and how dedicated he is. Like a lot of coaches, I feel they do this and then they go home, they switch off. He doesn't switch off, man. He'll go home now. He's been at the gym all day. He'll go home now. You just watch fights and break down fights, and then he'll come back to the gym and it's like, fucking hell, all he does is watch fights, I'm gonna ask him, when's the last time you watched a movie, mate? I don't think he does, So it's just like, that's the type of coach you need, someone who's so balls deep in it, you know what I mean? And yeah, I feel like with that type of guidance and proofs in the puddings, trained Quill from scratch, 5 years, 6 years, how long now?
Yeah, like six
years. 6.5 years, and that's a very quick rise to go 6 years and then get to the UFC. Fuck, man, there's some guys who've, like myself, trained forever and like only just really got there, you know what I mean? So 6 years, that's insane. That's not a credit to training partners, that's a credit to the coaching, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Now, a couple questions before I let you go. Now, Quillan, you're not allowed a girlfriend. Cody Haddon, you have a girlfriend. Romel Luistro says he's not happy about that, but you came in with her. Your thoughts on, are you ever going to get rid of her to get to the belt?
If it becomes a problem, maybe, but nah. She's all good. She's I think I can understand the whole thing behind it. It's a lot of athletes will end up getting with the wrong type of girl, and that can be very detrimental for their career. But I feel like as well, with every Conor McGregor, there's a D. Devlin, right? Like with every type great, like behind every great man's a great woman. I've got two, my missus and Jazz. So I'm unstoppable.
I got my mum and Jazz.
Yeah, there you go. We both got two great women in our lives and we're unstoppable, right? So yeah, me and Romel agree to disagree there. I feel the wrong girl can sabotage an athlete's career, but that all comes down to if the athlete is weak-minded in the first place. But the power of the pussy is a thing, and I'm aware of that. But I feel like I'm just lucky enough I've met the right type of girl, and I've had a little bit of experience, so I can pick them out from a mile away. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. Yeah.
You'll have to forgive Cody at times. He skipped primary school to train. Now, your head coach Romel Luistro said both you boys in 5 years will both be holding UFC gold, and I have never seen a man more determined in his life and believe what just came out of his mouth. Do you guys truly believe that you can both be world champion at the same time?
Definitely, as long as I'm first. Definitely. I'll be at 4.5 years. Cody can get there in 4 3/4. All right. As long as that's the case, I'm happy.
Cody, where do we see you in? Let's go. In fact, with the UFC belt, when do you get the bantamweight title?
Fuck, I don't know. I reckon it depends, because obviously very confident in my ability, but you never really know how good these guys are in the UFC because until you actually fight one of them, right? I was super nervous with my fight on the Contender Series, and I was like, oh, you know, fighting this kid, and he's only had one loss, and that was to Peyton Talbot, and he just literally smashed everyone else, and then I go out there and pull off shit like that. So I'm like, how good are these guys actually? And yeah, you just don't know until you're in there with them. But I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, I mean, normally to a title, what does it take? You can get there. Steve got there really quick, so, you know, I don't know. He got there within, was it a year? Steve got there?
Yeah, less than a year, I think it was.
I think because my route has been a bit different. Like, if you come from the Contender Series, you kind of start at the very bottom. They're not gonna, I don't know if they'd call me up for some late notice, like top 10 fight, like they did with Steve, with his opponent. So I think I'll have to go through like the bottom of the barrel and work my way up. So I think ideally it'd be, I'd say like 2 years or so. 2 years if everything goes to plan and smooth sailing. You know, that gives me like, let's say I fight 3 times in a year. That would be like ideal. If not, I'd like to do more. That'd be 6 fights. I think 6 fights you could get a title shot, especially if you're just deleting people real quick, you know? So I think so. 2 years, I'll be in a pretty close position for something like that, I imagine.
And Quillan, same prediction?
Year and a half then.
I want to amend mine, I reckon 1 year.
Oh, boys.
I get 6 months.
You guys, look, it's been a great story to see you both rise. Different sort of ways that you got into MMA and came through MMA, but to see you both within weeks of each other realise your dreams and to do it together and do it, like I said, with your no-name coach and your no-name manager and now Jasmine Frank and Romel Luistro are going to be sort of like household names in MMA. It's wonderful to see. It's why I love this sport, and it's why I love these sort of connections, because of course, you know, I knew you in both of your amateur careers. I think I might have even ring announced both of you. It really does.
My ears are still sore from that.
Thanks, mate. But it does. It's very emotional to sort of see it. So I just wanted to say, from me, it sounds stupid, but I'm very proud of you both. So thank you for making our time so fun. And this has been great. And we'll see you guys many more times.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks, boys.